Hi there, guys. Welcome to a video that is supposed to be a tutorial kind of thing. It is very nostalgic and fun that I'm making a tutorial for a software that I have made myself. So this app, Meeting Notes app, I guess I made it in a week. You can say in total. The whole design and pipeline thing was already there around 6 months ago, but I actualized it or stitched it together in a program in just a week of vibe coding using the code elements that I get from Gemini and Quen, so here and there. So in the first part of video, like this head talking, I will be talking about how this code is made and some ideas about it, some philosophy, some things here and there. And in the next part, I will just give you a quick go through or walkthrough of how you can download it, set up it, and use it. If you want to skip it to that part, just not want to see me talking, then you can just skip to the timestamp that you can see on the screen right now. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. So starting with the first part, why did I even make these things? What is the necessity of thing? Given development and knowledge not my main domain, I'm more into research. So I did it basically why I made videos, why I make a lot of articles and a lot of things to avoid redundancy. I have been using this, as I said, from 6 months, and I have got a lot of comments and positive feedbacks on my notes that I post in group meetings or in personal meetings. The meeting notes that I have shared is always appreciated, and a lot of people have also gone a step ahead and requested me the pipeline or the method by which I make my meeting notes and do all these things. So that is the basic fundamental main reason why I actually made this app. There is also some reasons here and there that I want to also have some understanding of vibe coding and get my GitHub look something like. So these were the reasons. But the primary reason was to avoid redundancy. One of the main reasons why I had such a pipeline for myself for the last 6 months was I want to promote using local language models and small language models, at least in a good amount compared to large language models. Again, if you watch my gradual disempowerment video, you'll get my ideas and thoughts regarding AI obesity, how much we should use AI, the environmental cost of AI, the market cost of AI, and a lot of problems with AI that we have. Therefore, I also want to promote local and small model use so that we can prevent at least things on our end in context of environmental cost and all other marketing thing that is happening. This whole code base and this whole project is completely vibe coded. I have majorly worked as a supervisor and a planner for this whole thing. Well, initially I tried to do it all in C sharp because the original libraries of Whispers were available in C sharp. But since I was not very familiar with C sharp, I was not able to even understand the code and see how it's going on and help model get out of this loops that they get into. Therefore, I switched to Python and completely redesigned the whole code in Python, and then I was able to understand and help model wherever it needed human feedback, and I was able to provide my feedback and logic and ideas. And yeah, that's how it worked out. So yeah, this is completely vibe coded. I have majorly done planning and all the things you can see on my LinkedIn regarding this project. So now coming to this specific program and software, then the first thing that I like most, and I think I can recommend a lot of people, is because meetings are something that is mostly private, at least for me they are. So this offers it innately that the whole thing is done on your machine locally. Therefore, you don't even have to think about privacy and security risks, at least from this whole program point of view. It requires no internet after initial setup. When you download the base model and you download the OLAMA and you download some of the other requirements, you don't need any internet. Therefore, it also makes it very portable. You can use it on your flight, you can use it on top of a mountain, you can use it anywhere where you have a laptop and that laptop is sufficiently powerful enough and charged enough. So that is one other benefit for me, especially because sometimes at airport or like, yeah, when you are traveling within countries, so the data pack is limited. Except for the input of the language models and the transcription models and the system prompt, the other thing that you have to input in this is your mp3 files, wave files, for your audio file of the meeting that you have done. I was very much thoughtful about it before choosing the file that user should input, and I think MP3 sits in a very sweet spot because it can be extracted in a lot of ways. So, like, let's say if you're doing a in-person one-on-one meeting, then you can just take consent of the person you're having the meeting with and start your audio recording in your phone, and you will get an MP3 file that way. And if you're doing it in an online meeting, then you can just use OBS or any other software to capture your screen, and then use any file converter app to convert those MP4 files that you get from OBS to get an MP3 file. Or you can find like some other online tools that just record audio of your talk if you want to do that. One other thing that I like about this software is that it is completely agnostic in terms of its major elements. That is the transcription model that it will use, the language model that it will use to make meeting notes, and the system prompt, the based on which it will generate the meeting notes. All of these things are something that you input or that you select from a drop-down menu, so you can change them based on your need and based on the advancement in the software field that we have. Like let's say tomorrow there's a better model than Gemma 3 that I'm using right now, then you can just directly use that. Or if you have designed a new system prompt that gives better result, then you can just input that. Or again, if you have a better PC and better software and you want to use a larger audio transcription model, then you can just directly use that as well. So that is one of the good things I like, that it is very agnostic and modular, and you can fit the pieces that you want, and the rest things comes from different sources, so you're also not dependent on any one source for everything. Since this is just a stitch up of a pipeline that I use and all the elements are independent, therefore you can use it in a way different ways than just as a meeting notes thing. I personally use this pipeline majorly for meeting notes, except for sometimes modifying it for article generation and other purposes. But again, I have seen and I can imagine there are a lot of various uses. You can just modify your system prompts in various different ways, and then based on the system prompts you can get different kind of outputs from the kind of audio that you input. For example, if there is a lecture that is going on, and then you can use the this feature and a different kind of system prompt to get lecture notes. You If you do data entry recording in an audio format similar to how I do, then you can use a different system prompts with the transcription to generate a log or a written format of your audio of your data entry recording in a more narrative way. At the same time, if you can use it to generate YouTube chapters, you can use it to generate introspection log so that you can see how you're introspecting and all. There can be tons of uses because again it's a very fundamental thing, an audio input and an output in a structured form. Language models perform great enough. All you have to do is to be very much flexible, and I would highly suggest to all, any and all that are going to use this thing, is to have multiple versions of the element, that is having multiple languages model in your local laptop installed, and have multiple system prompts and have multiple bin files, because based on your requirement you can change them and make great combinations and get input. But again, that requires good enough of hardware as well. And if you cannot afford a hardware, or if you don't have the hardware, then again you can just get the transcriptions and huge large language models available online with the system prompts to get a better results. One specific function that was very useful to me and that I specifically designed in it is the ability to process and work with batch files or multiple files. Especially because I'm generally in zone of doing things, so I just keep on having meetings and recording my things and keeping the audio files, but I rarely go through making meeting notes of them. And then sometimes, like when I get done with my major projects and my priority list things, then I come to this, and then I want to do everything in batch file, and that is one of the reasons why I had this batch processing features for both transcribing and making notes. I have tried my best to make it as automatic as possible and adding as much documentation as possible in all of these steps. I would highly recommend you to go through the README things if you want to get a better idea. Or the error messages, I have made sure that they are detailed enough that from where you need to get which kind of files, the binary files, the system prompt files, and all this stuff. Since I'm not going to build this app and make an executable out of it, therefore I have made a batch file especially for Windows users so that they can execute it in their machines, and it installs all the dependencies and Python and all. And I hope it works out, but probably you WinGet might not work out in you. So if you have some troubleshoot, try to reach out to me directly or try to fix it. And once you get it running, you will have the benefit of all the troubles that you have went through in troubleshooting. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Okay, so now let's come to the end user point of view and what you are supposed to do to get these things working. So the fastest way or the most reliable way would be to first go on my website, myspy.versal.app. The domain might change, but you'll have the link to the domain in the description of this video. So from there, you can find Myspy section on top only. Go to the GitHub repository. From here, you can find the GitHub link for my GitHub profile. And after coming to the GitHub profile, you will see here are most of the projects listed. Hopefully I would have more projects in future, but here you can find the meeting notes repository. And when you open the meeting notes repository, this is the meeting notes repository. All you need to do is clone it in your folder wherever you want to use it. So like I hope you know how to clone, but you can just go here and copy this and clone it. After cloning the code, you need to go through this website. You can find the link of this in the GitHub repo. So here you can find the link to Hugging Face website. I've directly gone to the main website instead of going to the third party places. So here you can go and first download a model that you think would be good enough for you. For example, given my specification, that is 16 GB RAM and AMD Ryzen lap, like it's a pretty decent enough laptop. So for that I use this medium model, yeah, this ggml medium bin. I use this one, but you can choose whichever one you think is good enough if you have a like low class laptop that is not that hardware capabilities. So you can go with any like tiny, small, or if you have good enough laptop, you can go with large. Like they have all the decision. And they also upgrade it, so you can like choose whatever you feel like based on your laptop's capability. At the same time, you'll also need to go to Olama to download Olama. Uh, First, the software that helps you to connect Olama, and then you'll also need to download the model. So you can download Olama from here. From here, you can go and check the models that are there, and you can choose the one that you like. These are all the requirements that is there for downloading and dependencies and all this stuff. These are the, you can say, the pull request things that you'll get. There will be no input or output folder, but it will be created the first time you open the meeting notes pad. So when you will open this file, I have designed it enough that it will install all the dependencies that are needed, like Python program and other dependencies and requirement that you need. I have not built it and made an exe because this will be used in a lot of platform. At the same time, it is in development mode, so I don't feel like making a whole software out of it or like a exe file out of it. So yeah, it will by default open in like this mode, but you can obviously zoom in. You can make it maximized. So here you can select single audio based if you want like just to process just one audio, or you can also select multiple audios that will be processed in batch. And then you can select the model that you have pulled from Olama. I will be using Gemma 3, you can see here. And in the system prompt segment, you can choose the kind of prompt that you would like to have. I have these three kind of prompts based on my need. I have like designed these prompts. It is supposed to be your own personal thing, your own work, you can say in a way, and just put it in this folder, input folder. So here I have also put the bin file that I have downloaded from Hugging Face website, and these are my three prompts that I have made and like put them into a text file. As simple as that. You can make like some of my prompts are like 1 page long, 2 page long, and most of them are designed with iterative process. You can design it based on your own requirement, what you feel is good enough, and just keep on improving them. And after that, you just select the bin file that you want to use, the transcription model. uh, I will be using this, and then you can generate meeting notes. If you want to get the final notes, you'll get in a PDF, or you can just use this transcribe audio feature. And you will get the outputs in this folder, outputs folder here. There will be three outputs that you will get: a PDF file, a text file, and an MD markdown file. So the text file will have transcription, the MD file will have markdown, and the PDF file will be a standard PDF with some kind of parsing of the markdown file with some editing. I have not put a lot of focus on the PDF because I personally don't use PDF a lot. I take the markdown file and put them in my Notion or somewhere else in Obsidian or other platforms. But I feel, yeah, that is all you need to do to use it. I hope it works out. If you want, you can just take the transcription from here. You can just transcribe audio. And if you want to use some online models, it can be Claude, it can be ChatGPT, whatever you want. You can use the transcriptions that you will get in this to directly generate using some large language models. Like, but again, that is something against my philosophy. This is the first iteration or first approach to try to make this software or to stitch all of this thing together, and it was very messy and very bad because I tried to do it in C sharp. I did that because the original Whisper coding and all the files are in C sharp, so I thought it will integrate properly, but it turned out to be a great mess. It took a lot of time, but it did not work out. Let me know your thoughts. Have a good day. Bye. I really hope the video goes good enough in the first try because I really don't have much time to work on this. I have a lot of backlogs to cover, so I hope the voice is good enough, the video is good enough, the framing is good enough, so I can begin with the recording. Let's go.